It's really hard to not move in this direction, despite a little bit of added complexity. Hey guys, Matt here with BuiltRight Industries. Today we're going to take a closer look at our Packout mounting bracket options, and then also some new options that we're experimenting with. If you're familiar with what we offer right now, it's basically a really low profile pair of brackets and a latch. You could use 2 of them for a smaller Packout or 4 of them for a large. The idea here for us was to make it as low profile as possible. So you can see right now I don't have a Packout in here, and there's not a big bulky bracket on it, which was totally the point. Still a really, really great option if this is your use case. We are running into people that call or email looking for one of 2 things. They're looking to just mount something like this to the wall of their trailer or their shop or whatever, and in that case, a more, I'll call it like a full bracket would be more useful. We also end up with people that are kind of doing weird creative stuff with the MOLLE panels, whether it's seat back panels or in the bed, which is awesome, but they're looking to mount a Packout, you know, here, which is really hard to do with this current bracket setup, which is kind of leading us to explore what you see here, and I'll get more into this now, but if you have a full one-piece Packout bracket, you can sort of hang it off the side and still support the whole Packout. So that's what led me to experiment with this. This is 4 different sizes, full width for a full-size Packout, half for a smaller Packout. These are full height, I'll call them. But the other option too, and this is something that I kind of like the idea of, it's similar to what we did with the Cybertruck Packout panels, is just a single row. So this is perfect, especially when you don't need a bunch of like dynamic stability, and it's going to be really, you know, stationary. Just to have a single cleat for your Packout. So if you're hanging these on the wall of the shop, trailer, whatever, this is going to be more than enough. It's smaller, it's lower profile. Anyway, this is what I have right now. You can see I've got a flange on the top and the bottom for mounting. If I were to put this here right now and push on it, that bracket's going to flex a little bit because these feet are splaying. Once these are bolted down, it's going to be much, much less noticeable. On the large bracket, it's already less noticeable because I left so much material in the middle here. So this is where we're at right now. The last thing I want to experiment with before we send these to production is on these full height brackets, experimenting with a flange down the side, which is going to add some rigidity. So I'm in the process right now. I just designed one. I'm going to go cut it on the laser, and we'll bend it up, and we'll kind of just maybe do a side-by-side test. All right, so we have those early prototypes that don't have a flange on the edge. They're pretty sturdy, especially the larger one, the larger panel, which is the one that I'm modifying right now. I think the reason for that is that I left a lot of material in the center of the panel, so it's not prone to bowing. That being said, once the 2 ends of the panel are secured to whatever this mounting surface is, I don't anticipate they bow at all. But I'm gonna prototype one. This is not done, but I'm going to kind of prototype one that's got these edge bends here. That's going to make it really, really rigid. I did a panel like that yesterday for another project. So I kind of want to experiment with that. If it doesn't add anything to the product or the project, I'm not going to do it. But if it does, it'll be useful to know. One of the things that I don't like about this is it just starts to enclose the space behind the panel. So if this is being used outdoors or in a trailer or something and there's debris or sticks or leaves or whatever, it's just like prone to getting caught back there. I have the same concern with MOLLE panels, which is the reason I designed them the way that I do. All right, so we've got this revision finished up. I'm gonna cut one on the laser and bend it up. Good, I'm going to clean them up and then we'll bend them. All right, so those bends are great, but I had bent those before on those previous prototypes. Now I've got to figure out this end bend, which is going to be a 90 down, but I got to make sure the rest of the part doesn't run in the machine. So I'm going to figure out the programming first, and then we'll pick the tooling, and then we'll bend it. All right, so we have our two prototypes here. They both have about the same footprint because I shrunk this a little bit to accommodate this bend. This is the one that I bent before. You can see a little bit of bowing. I mean, it's really not bad. This is gonna work fine, but this is our experiment now, and this is like really feels rigid and solid. So it's really hard to not move in this direction, despite a little bit of added complexity. So I'm also going to show one other thing that's going to make these unique. One of the unique features that we added here is solves a problem I've had with other sheet metal Packout panels. This happens to be thicker. This is 1/8 inch aluminum, so it's less of an issue here. But on thinner gauge panels, which is what a lot of them are, your Packout, because it's designed to be interfacing with those Milwaukee plates or another Packout, which is thicker material, they kind of rattle around a little bit. Not a huge deal, but it's a little bit of an annoyance. It doesn't feel quite as refined as the plastic on plastic does. So what we did here is I cut 6 different holes, and I put in a small push rivet. We'll try and show you a close-up, but this is a push rivet that we include with some of our other products. And the reason is the bottom of this Packout is slightly different than the bottom of this one. I think it's probably just a manufacturing tolerance thing. But if I put this Packout in here, it can rattle around a little bit. And I don't have those push rivets in here. On this side, I've got the push rivets in, and that Packout's gonna go snug on there, and is like nice and snug. And that interface is like a plastic on plastic, which just feels really nice. The reason I'm kind of qualifying that is as I was experimenting with this deeper Packout, and I put that in here on this side, it's actually a nice snug fit. And on this other side where I've got the push rivets, I can't really comfortably get it on there, which is interesting. There you go. So what we're gonna do is include those push rivets as an optional accessory, and then depending on your preference or your Packout organizer, you could just choose to use them or not. They're really easy to put in and out. I think that it makes sense, given the variation that I'm seeing between these two, I think it makes sense to include them no matter what. And then it's just up to the user. So this, other than that, I'm pretty happy with this. The only other decision to make is, do we powder coat them or sell them raw? And I'm actually leaning towards selling them as raw aluminum like this, leaving it to the user to do whatever they want with it. But powder coating, if you're really using these, is going to probably fail just because of the interface and the constant motion. So that is the current state of this project. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm gonna make the same revision to the narrower mount. And then again, we do have that line of mounts that's just gonna be the one row. That is, it's a short enough span that this is not gonna be very helpful. So I think we'll probably leave it out there. So that's gonna be 4 new products. We're hoping to have these available probably by the time you watch this video or shortly after. We'll leave a link in the description. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, find us in the comments, shoot us an email, give us a call. Happy to chat. Catch you next time.